Number 5. Kix. Who is Kix? And what is his powers? How can he take the land that is not his? Where does Kix come from? Most important, how can he be stopped? He's an erratic eccentric who strikes like lightning. He travels with patrolmen called Sparks, who constantly guard the bordering territories. Kix moves fast, spreading like an infectious disease. His supernatural powers allow him to clone himself, thus doubling his threat. Your only defense is to trap Kix and claim your territory. You must use your chromium electronic marker to partition the land, segment by segment. You plan your strategy. You calmly start plotting a path from border to border. Then when you least expect it, you encounter an additional threat called the Fuse. It hides and waits until you stop moving. Then it travels along your path, crackling all the way. If it catches you, it ignites and destroys your marker. Once you start moving again, it stops and anxiously awaits your next movement of hesitation. Now you know what you're up against. You must be quick, steady, and careful to diligently reclaim the seized territory. You cannot be greedy. Use intelligence to outsmart the devious monster. Kix was released in 1982, developed by Taito, and published by Atari for use on the Atari 5200. It's a really good port of the arcade game, giving you fast-paced action and really addictive gameplay as well. So if you're into these kind of puzzle games, this would probably be the game for you. Number 4. Star Wars: The Arcade. The object of the game is to score as many points as possible by destroying relentless swarms of Imperial TIE fighters, a barrage of deadly fireballs, and a maze of sinister laser towers before finally blasting the infamous Death Star from existence. In this game, there are increasing waves of difficulty. Each wave features 3 rounds. The rounds involve destroying fireballs and shooting down TIE fighters patrolling the Death Star, blasting fireballs in the tops off laser towers along the surface of the Death Star, and destroying fireballs along the catwalks in the Death Star's equatorial trench. It is this last round that you must also hit the main reactor port on the floor of the trench with the proton torpedo to destroy the Death Star completely. You'll begin the game at Wave 1, Round 1, with 9 energy shields. Each time you successfully complete a wave, you will automatically advance to the next and more difficult one with your remaining number of energy shields, plus 3 additional energy shields. The maximum number of energy shields you can have is 9. When you lose all 9 shields and you're hit by a fireball, tower, or catwalk, the game ends and you must begin again. May the Force be with you. Number 3. Hero. HERO, an acronym for Helicopter Emergency Rescue Operation. Get down and dirty. Reach miners trapped miles under the surface of the Earth. Use the prop pack to maneuver through a maze of mine shafts. Blast vile vermin with the micro laser beam. Dynamite walls. Negotiate across lethal lava flows. Rescue all the miners you can before running out of lives or power. HERO was released in 1984, developed and published by Activision, and programmed by John Van Ryzen. HERO has always been one of my favorite retro games, especially like on the Atari 2600, and this game plays exactly like the 2600 version, except you have 2 buttons, one for shooting your laser beam and one for putting down your dynamite. Other than that, the controls are pretty much the same. Graphically, this game looks so much better than the Atari 2600 version. In fact, this is probably one of the better graphically good-looking HERO versions there is. This game, since it's one of my favorites, would actually be higher up on the list rather than being number 3. However, because of the 5200 and its controllers, yeah, it's definitely a little bit lower on the list because of that. Now, granted, it's still a good game, and it's still playable on the 5200. If you guys don't know, the 5200 has some really raunchy controls sometimes without being able to self-center, And this is definitely a game that needs to have the self-centering, because sometimes you'll just fly off up or down or right or left or however, and you'll just run into a wall or a bat, tentacles, or any other enemy in the game. It just makes for it to be a little bit harder with the 5200 controller, so maybe it gives it more of an arcade feeling, but honestly I like it better with the old digital controllers on the 2600. So if you're in the mood for a great retro game, Hero's the one for you. Number 2. Gremlins. Ran Piltzer discovers the Magwai in a Hong Kong trinket shop. Ran is enchanted by the fluffy little creature and insists on buying it. With Magwai comes much responsibility, warns the wise old owner of the shop. 3 absolute rules for the care of the feeding the Magwai are: keep them away from water. Don't ever get them wet. Water makes them multiply. Keep them out of light. They hate bright light. It will kill them. But the most important thing, the thing you must never forget, is that no matter how much they cry, no matter how much they beg, never feed them after midnight. And if you do, they will hatch into gremlins. Oh no, it's after midnight. Magwai and gremlins are running wild in Billy's living room. Help Billy return the Magwai to their cage and destroy the gremlins by slashing them with his sword before sunrise at 6 a.m. You have between 30 seconds and 6 minutes to complete your task. A clock located at the bottom of the screen center counts from starting up at 6 a.m. The easier nights are shorter. When you make it through one night, you go on to a harder night. 2 ways to make it through the night: return all the Magwai to their pens and eliminate all gremlins, or survive until 6 a.m. You start out with 3 lives. Each time a gremlin touches you, you lose a life. Remaining lives are displayed next to your score at the top of the screen. You win a bonus life every 10,000 points. The maximum lives displayed at once are 6. Extra lives won after that are held in reserve. This game strictly just made it to number 2 on my list because of how fun and addicting it is. Just sit down with this game for a little while and you'll be addicted as well, trust me. Number 1. Pitfall 2: The Lost Caverns, The Adventurers Edition. Join Pitfall Harry as he searches a vast subterranean cliff dwelling high in the Andes. He's looking for the fabled Raj Diamond, gold bricks, his niece Rhonda, and a cowardly lion Quickclaw. He finds more than he bargained for: eels, poisonous frogs, albino scorpions, bats, condors, and a raging river. Then venture through the forbidden second cavern and solve its surprising mystery of freedom. Come join Pitfall Harry in the greatest challenge of his career: Pitfall 2: The Lost Caverns, Adventurers Edition. Released in 1984, distributed and published by Activision, and by one of my favorite programmers, David Crane. This is just a great game, guys. I love this on basically every console that it's on. It's just such a great game. The first time I played this, I was at a buddy's house. This is a long time ago. I can't even remember when this was. It was probably like the early 2000s. I had a buddy that had a 5200, and he had broke it out and had hooked it up to his CRT TV he had, and we were just rocking it like it was the 80s. And we were playing Pitfall 2, and when I defeated it, because I've defeated it a million times on the 2600, but I defeated it on the 5200, and I was surprised when the caverns opened up, and I was like, what? He's like, what, you didn't know that? And I was like, nah, man. So what a surprise it was to me, guys, and just having that whole extra layer and those all that levels, and it was just so much harder with the erratic bats and those fast, like, what are they, ants or beetles or whatever they are. Oh my god, it's just crazy. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with this. I'm going to play this all the way till I get to the secret level. If you like what you saw today, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that bell too, so you get notifications whenever I drop new content like this. Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to play this game. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.